In the last episode of the Marseille Career Mode, wonder kid Christos Solis was signed, adding some needed squad depth at the striker position. It was a rematch for Milik against his former side Napoli, but we bowed out of the Champions League in the round of 16. Hey, what's going on everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 21 Marseille Career Mode. This is episode number 5 and the start to season 3. I'm excited to kick off another season here with Marseille. I feel like we've started to solidify our squad, as well as some of the competitions like the Trophée des Champions and the Coupe Nationale. Moving forward in the career mode, I'd like to place more of an emphasis on Ligue 1 and of course Champions League as we look to repeat Marseille as champions of Europe. Speaking of which, I would quickly want to recap last season's performances as we finished third in the league, meaning that we will once again be in the qualifying round of Champions League. 2 of those matches to play, and then if we advance past that, we'll be into the group stage. We also won the Coupe Nationale, meaning that we'll kick off this season with another final in the Trophée des Champions. But if you are excited for another new season with Marseille, make sure to leave a like on the video. It's a massive help to the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date when new episodes go live. But turning our attention to the squad, like I said, I feel like we've got a solid foundation here with the club, but I would like to make a couple of slight improvements just based off how some of these players play in game. In particular, although he's one of the newest additions to the club, I have not gotten on well with Diop. I think it's just the lack of dribbling that he offers and his distribution out of the back that's really letting him down. That doesn't mean he's not going to play a role in this career mode, but I'm not sure if he is going to be the starting left center back for us. I think the best way for us to decide that is by making another center back signing here in the summer. That way those 2 players can compete for the starting role. And after all, we've seen another increase to our transfer budget for this season, now up to 72.3 million. Takahiro Tomiyasu is the player that I've shortlisted. I've tried to sign this defender for previous career modes, particularly the Southampton save. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but I think the timing is right now. He's up to a 77 overall, still just 23 years old, has that 5-star weak foot, which means he would be ideal at the left center back position. Of course, Marseille do have that link to Japan with a couple of our current and former players. Sakai still at the club, and previously Nagatomo. But the terms of this transfer is where things get even more interesting. He's got a market value of 22 million, which I was willing to pay, but they decided to include Alvaro as part of a swap deal, and I don't think this is the worst thing. He's getting up there in age, now 32 years old, and he's no longer going to be an important player in the squad like his contract specifies. It's also not uncommon for Spanish players to make the move to Serie A in the later stages of their career, so hopefully he can get some play time at Bologna, still play a crucial role in their defense, and maybe we'll see a reunion with Alvaro at some point in time when we match up against them. So just to clarify, we finalized this transfer as part of a swap deal for Alvaro plus 11.5 million going to Bologna. Tomiyasu's contract included terms with him having a rotational player role to a 4-year deal worth 32 grand a week. Things aren't going to stop there though for transfers, because one of our brand exposure objectives looks to have us sign 2 players from North America. Don't know if that's the most realistic thing for Marseille in particular, but we'll go with it. And take a look at the free agents. I find the United States generally has the most free agents out of the club. Maybe it's because you've got some older American players in MLS, so you're going to have a regens as a result of that. But sometimes you can find some decent potential players that just had their contract, and that was the case for Richard Ledesma. The former PSV Eindhoven youngster is now up to a 73 overall. His potential should be in the lower 80s, and we might even be able to see the upper end of his potential at some point in this save. As of right now, he's showing great potential and agreed to a contract with him as a sporadic squad role player to a 4-year deal worth 30 grand a week. I'm going to have to place more of an emphasis on board objectives this season to help improve our manager ratings. So for youth development, I see us meeting this again. We just need to sign up some youth academy players. That should be no problem. Finances, looking to keep player salary growth under 15% this season. For domestic success, slightly lower objectives as we just need to finish, I suppose, in a top 3 spot for Champions League. The board also wants us to win the cup and within 2 seasons win the Ligue 1 title. For continental success, we need to reach the semi-final of Champions League. More and more money seems to be spent in Ligue 1 each season. PSG, of course, being the top spenders once again. A lot of players brought in and a few players leaving, as about 150 million in arrivals there. It's Lyon that spend over 100 grand, bringing in El Nassiri and Gonzalez. It looks like Lille are starting to transfer out most of their high potential players. It's Renato Sanchez who is now departing for 63.4 million, but they brought in a lot of players as well, including Michy Batshuayi. 2 more clubs to cover, and I don't like Strasbourg's chances this season because they've lost 2 of their key players. Macias, who we nearly brought in the last episode, and Bellegarde also leaving the club. Finally, it's Nice who are going to also bring in a couple of players, but not spend a whole lot, as they have about 50 million in player departures. We've had a lot more luck as of late loaning out players. This is going to be big to help improve the overall rating of some of our youth academy talents, as well as most of the younger players that we have available here at Marseille. While the starting 11 is pretty secure right now, I'm not ruling out any of our youth academy prospects because they of course do have a good amount of potential. It's just a matter of time before they reach that rating. Whether we're going to hit those peak ratings before the end of this save, we'll have to see. But we'll keep on going on by trying to bring in some more young prospects to the club, setting up a scouting network in France for 6 months, looking for any type of player, returning to Africa, specifically Algeria for 6 months, looking for a playmaker. This is one of the more popular foreign nations that Marseille has featured players from. And finally, I thought it'd be cool to return to Southern Europe, specifically in Italy, looking for an attacker. Probably the most known Italian striker to feature for Marseille is Mario Balotelli. I think he only played there for a season or two, but I think it's a cool storyline that we can build off of. We've got a couple of dev plan updates, and a big reason why I decided to bring in Tomiyasu over some other center backs is that he is going to qualify for the stopper dev plan. If you guys don't know, I try to keep the players' skill move, weak foot, and work rates the same. That means pretty much only center backs with a high defensive work rate can be used for the stopper and sweeper dev plans. Generally, it's one of the best ones to use for center backs because it helps improve their pace, defending, and physical stats, all of which are absolutely crucial for center backs. But we're also going to be swapping Solis from a left winger role to a striker role. I saw a lot of comments about that in the last episode, and I think it's the right move because it also makes him qualify for the poacher dev plan, which is going to help boost the shooting attributes, which is obviously big for a striker. As previously mentioned, our first match of the season is once again going to be in the Trophy de Champions, our third consecutive year in this competition, as this time it's a rematch against PSG, and I think our squad is even more ready than previous years for this final. We're adding squad depth in practically every position. Player sharpness is exactly where it should be, and dynamic potential is certainly starting to take over for players like Hernandez, Milik, Talvan. The list can go on. Depending how we do in the qualifying rounds of Champions League, we might feature some gameplay there, as well as some action in Liga 1. It'll be a rematch of the very first fixture that we played in this career mode to kick off the gameplay. The last time we played against PSG in the Trophy de Champions, we lost that match 2-1. Both sides are looking a lot different now, but some key players still in the starting 11. While I think winning a cup fixture would give us some confidence going into this third season, the Trophy de Champions isn't exactly a big priority for me since we've already checked off this trophy in season 2. But I think it's also fair to say that PSG are the team that we'll need to surpass if we want to become the top team in France. It's great to have Hernandez back in the starting 11, and he's going to kick off the highlights with an opening chance, skipping by the PSG defender, but Navas quick to come off of his line. He's been one of the best goalkeepers in Liga 1 in the first 2 seasons of the save, and I'm expecting no different for season 3. Of course, it's Mbappe to open up the scoring as we get into the second half. Kind of a weird save animation from Rulli, who I'm waiting on him to return to his consistent saves like he did when we first signed him, but we still got a long way to go this season and things can quickly turn around. We will be making a change to our formation though, optioning for the 4-4-2 and also giving Tomiyasu his debut. The battle between Chileta Tsar, Diop, and Tomiyasu is going to be interesting to see who our 2 starting center backs will be. It's always great to have different options in case one player is out of form, which has kind of been the case for Diop up to this point, but we'll see how things progress for him as we're finally creating some chances here towards the end of the match. A big takeaway from Geya as he wins us back the ball, distributes to Rongier. Now it's Solis playing through Hernandez, and this is where he's going to be dangerous because he's got the perfect stature for precise dribbles. This is the second or third penalty kick that he's forced, and it will be Milik who steps up for this one. Off to the right, no chance for Navas to make the save as we get the equalizer. Milik has easily been one of our most consistent players here at Marseille, and I'm glad we decided to bring him in on a permanent basis last season. And it's one of those storylines that you love to develop, a player that's initially here on loan, but ends up becoming a club legend. I felt like this could have been a red card for PSG, stopping the Solis chance, and it's only going to be a yellow as this match will go straight into a penalty shootout. No extra time given in the Trophy de Champions, and another chance for Rulli to become a hero in this competition. For the most part, I'm pretty reliable from penalty kicks. I typically just pick a side and hope for the best. Whatever happens, happens. and I can usually pull off a couple of the goalkeeper's saves. But we get off to an early deficit in this one, missing just our second penalty kick, and now really either needs to make a save or we need to rely on a bit of luck and have PSG miss a shot from the mark. We do get that luck on our side, as now it's a decider for PSG, who will have that effort saved. Tecatito has not done well since making the transfer from Porto now to France, but the drama here in this penalty kick will continue. A chance for us to win it as we're up 4-3. We guessed the wrong direction, and now we continue with this penalty kick shootout. Hernandez with the miss, and now it's going to be the captain for PSG. Marquinhos buries it from the spot, and they'll be lifting the Trophy de Champions this season. This was easily the longest penalty kick shootout I've had in career mode this year, but again, I think we're not far off from finally dethroning PSG as the top team in France. Probably just a couple more transfers away, adding a little bit more quality into our side, especially with some of our younger players like Hernandez still developing. If he's given another chance in the future to win us a penalty kick shootout, I can rely on him. Although not the starts of the season that we wanted, our main focus now is going to be on the qualifying round of Champions League, as Basel will be our opponent. Fortunately, the simulations went pretty well, the home leg ending in a 4-0 win. That meant the away leg was just going to be another quick sim. That was a 2-2 draw, meaning we advanced to the next stages. And I think this matchup ended up in our favor, as last season we had Sporting, who are a pretty difficult side with some high potential players. Slavia Praha, not bad, but they also finished in the last place for our Champions League group last year, so I expected similar things. A 4-1 win in the away leg, a 2-2 draw in the home leg, meaning that we're through to the group stage. For this 22-23 season, our Champions League group will consist of Barcelona, Atalanta, and Lokomotiv Moscow. Unfortunately, none of the other clubs in our group have a real stadium in FIFA 21, so I'm going to stick to highlighting the home fixtures for Champions League as we start against Atalanta, a pretty unique side that has made some big transfers so far. Alexander Isak at the striker position, and I think we're on a pretty level playing field as the away match ended in a 1-1 draw. I think that's the big question for Atalanta. Ever since Gomez departed for Sevilla, I've always wondered how they're going to fare, and it will be interesting to see how they do in this match. But we'll start with the first highlight. It's Gaya pushing the ball forward. He's kind of adapted from a center defensive mid player to even a box-to-box midfielder at times, as he sets up Milik with our opening chance. Of course, he's going to be bearing that effort in front of goal on his preferred left foot. No way that Golini can make that save. And that was kind of the tempo I was looking for throughout this first half. Now it's Hernandez, some heavy touches as he's going to go solo. Finally, a good save from the Atalanta goalkeeper. But now into the second half, I think set pieces were the only way that they were going to score in this one. It's really Orban who kind of drifted more out wide. That's a quality save from Rulino to deny that effort, as we make the first appearance for Ledesma, coming on as a substitute in the 58th minute. We're looking to see out this match though and create a second goal. It's Talvan who has the square across to Solis, but I don't know why he was running ahead of the ball. He just had to hold up his run a little bit. Again, it's the inexperience coming into play. It didn't matter too much in the end though, as we hang on to some possession here in the 90th minute, plus some added extra time, and Solis will get the 2-0 advantage for us. I think the main pro to this player is the acceleration and versatility that he offers. Just needs to work on some of his technical attributes as well as the awareness, and he can become a complete all-rounded player. But a great way for us to begin our Champions League campaign. 3 points as we look to finish first in our group. Moscow will be our next opponent, and while they probably have the slimmest chance of advancing out of this Champions League group, we know we can't take these sides for granted because they've given us some upsets in the past. The away leg and away match ended in a 3-0 win, with Hernandez bagging 2 goals and Milik getting the other. We've been putting a lot of trust in Solis to the point where we're actually preferring the 4-4-2 formation for some fixtures, and I think it was the right decision for this match, as Moscow didn't have a lot of defenders back. When you combine that with the pace that Solis offers, it's only going to lead to an opening goal, getting that effort right under the outstretched arm of the goalkeeper. But now as we turn our attention to the defensive side of things, this is where we will struggle a little bit. You can see we're trying to get the takeaway, but a good turn there by the Moscow attacker, as they will get the equalizer 20 minutes in. This is what I mean. You can never discount any Champions League opponent. You might even be set up for a surprise. There's a lot of time left to play as we're still in the first half, and this is a great bit of build-up play. A headed through ball by Solis to set up Bazor. He's going to continue his good form from Season 2, and is trying to earn his way back into the starting 11. You know, with the 4-4-2 formation, we've got 3 good midfielders available, so one of them will have to sit out. And if players like Gueye and Bazor keep scoring goals, then where do we factor in Rongier? Still a lot to decide in this Marseille Career Mode. But these are good problems to have as we determine our perfect team sheet. Now that we have a 2-goal advantage, we can switch up our tactics a little bit, sit back more, and rely on some of the stops that really can consistently make. He does a great job of closing down the gap and not really giving our opponents much room to create chances. This was a well-headed effort, though, by Moscow to close that deficit down to 1. As we still got 25 minutes left to go. Still yet to make a whole lot of substitutions on our end. We're going to rely on that link-up play between Solis and Milik. Solis turning the defender, looking for just a little bit of space. Denied, though, by the post. That would have been one of the best goals of the episode for sure. 71st minutes as some changes from our opponents. Solis to Hernandez. He's going to get by the Moscow defender and on the near post. And a 5-star weak foot. There is no denying that. It'll be the deciding goal in a pretty fun match to play. One that consisted of a lot of goals from both sides. But I think the result was a fair one. Winning at least 2 of our Champions League gameplay fixtures will give us a good chance of potentially winning our group. But first, we have a Liga 1 match to play against Nice, who I don't believe I've played up to this point in the career mode. They were one of the front runners for the teams I was deciding on in France. And while they've lost some of their initial players that are on loan in Season 1, it's still a solid starting 11. And I genuinely believe this is going to be one of the matches that help decide the top 3 teams in France. Nice are not far off, and while they haven't finished in the top 3 yet, this could be the season where they make the breakthrough. Based off of the early start that Nice had in this match, I was beginning to have flashbacks to last season's fixture that we had against Lille. If you didn't tune into the last episode, you missed a good one, but we conceded about 5 goals to them. Not exactly how I wanted to start things, as Rulli just about made the save with his feet, but we'll push on, and now it's Talvant played through. He wants to get this one on his left foot. He'll do just that, tucking it away off the post and in. So 31 minutes into the match, we do get the equalizer, so still a chance for us to pick up 3 points, because every match will matter for us as we look to build upon last season's performance. With how random some of the simulation results go, our best chance of winning a Liga 1 title will come from the gameplay fixtures. If we can win a good portion of them and maybe even highlight more of the matches that we have against PSG, I see no reason that we can't win a league title before this career mode does come to an end. But not if things keep happening like this, where we go down 2-1. I decided to make a very swift decision, take off Diop, and bring on Tomiyasu, who I've honestly preferred as a center back. It's going to be a balancing act in future seasons because obviously Diop does have a higher rating, so I'll probably use him for most of the simulated fixtures. But if we can keep Tomiyasu on good sharpness, I don't see any reason we can't highlight him in the gameplay fixtures. A big chance there from Solis to give us the equalizer, but he puts that one wide. We'll try to make something happen in the 82nd minute, but we're unable to get the ball cleared, and a little bit of misfortune goes against us as Nice get their 3rd, pretty much taking away any chance of us getting a point from this match. It's one of those things you just need to deal with in career mode from time to time. I'm sure it's happened to you guys as well. We'll walk away from this one losing the match, but having high hopes for the Champions League as we'll close out against Barcelona. A win here against the Spanish Giants would mean a lot to us in the career mode. Not only will it show that we can beat one of the best teams in FIFA 21, it'll build upon the simulated draw that we had, and if we were to pick up 3 points, that would leapfrog us above Barcelona to finish first in the Champions League group. So with this 6th and final group stage fixture, we're going to go all out. There's nothing for us to lose, but a lot for us to gain as we try to defeat this new look Barcelona side. It's going to be a quick start for our opponents. Emil Forsberg actually featuring as a center forward in this side, but I want you guys to pay attention to Tomiyasu throughout this match. He makes some big stops, and I'll try to showcase them as much as I can throughout the rest of this save. But it's Hernandez who breaks away down the left wing, sending it across to Milik. The initial effort save, but it will not be enough to stop us from scoring a goal. Of course, Ter Stegen, one of the best goalkeepers in FIFA 21. No way he can recover to make that double save. With us now in front, there's a few different strategies that we can take. We can either sit back and try to hang on to the clean sheet, pick up a result that way, or push on and hope for a second goal. I felt like we defended this effort pretty well, getting bodies in front of the ball and not giving De Jong a good angle to shoot from. But with these high-rated players, sometimes they just find the back of the net, just like Mbappe did in our opening match to this season. Into the second half now, as it's Hernandez linking up with Amavi, playing it back to Hernandez, trying to get that effort on the near post, but Ter Stegen quick to come off of his line. Now it's Forsberg playing a ball through, Rulli with the huge effort to stop that. And now it's Solis trying to find Bazor, who plays through Rongier. I was hoping he could be the hero once again for us in the Champions League, but it was not meant to be, as it just ends as a draw. Doesn't do a whole lot for us in the group, but regardless, we'll still get into the mid-season recap, cover how we're doing in Liga 1, as well as other competitions like the Champions League. Despite some struggles in the league this first half of the season, we're not exactly out of it for the title because we're just 8 points behind PSG despite losing a lot of matches. If you can see a change in form in the next episode, I don't think we'll have any problem finishing top 3 once again, but I really do want to make the push for top 2, if not first, in Liga 1. Champions League, on the other hand, has seen some steady improvements because we just about won our group over Barcelona, but I'll still take 12 points from the group stage, putting us second in the group and of course qualifying us for the round of 16, the opponent of which I'll unveil in the next episode. Milik again leading the way as the top goal scorer for the club, 11 goals from 27 appearances, Thauvin in second with 9 from 30, and Hernandez in third with 8 from 28. I also want to give a shout out to Bazor because despite being from the midfield, he's scoring a lot of goals for us, especially in the simulated fixtures, so I might just need to switch back to the 3 midfielder formation in order to have him in the starting 11. Some lackluster numbers in the assist category, to be honest, but it's Santons and Thauvin who are joint top, 5 assists from 29, 5 assists from 30, and then quite a few players on 3 assists. We're looking to improve in that category in the next episode. I'd appreciate hearing your thoughts as far as which formation you think we should use for this career mode. The 4-4-2 allows us to utilize both Hernandez and Solis in the starting 11, but like I just said, it could be good to feature Bazor as well. So if you have any preference between the 4-4-2 and the 4-3-3 defensive, just let me know in the comments. But some other important decisions for you guys, as we have some bad news. Radonjic is unhappy, and I think at the least we'll loan him out, meaning that we can maybe make a left winger / center forward transfer in the winter. We do still need to complete half of our brand exposure objective of signing players from North America. So if you have any players in mind, feel free to leave a comment about that. But I want to take a second to thank channel members for supporting what we do here on YouTube. If you want to join the membership program, you can click the join button underneath the video or the link that's in the description. You get access to emails that you can use in the comment section of these videos, as well as chat for live streams. But again, I want to thank you all for the support shown on this Marseille save. It has been one of the more successful career modes we've done all year, and I'm genuinely looking forward to each episode's recording. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, but until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.